Listener Bridges, welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve.
My name's Arnes.
And today, got a
we
special one for you.
Do we have to?
Yes, we have to.
Really? I don't want to bash a movie.
We're going to do it. Today we're going over the movie Alien 3. You guys haven't seen the movie. It's a continuation of Aliens, where something happens to the escape ship that Ripley, Hicks, and Newt are on. And they end up getting jettisoned onto planet Fury 161. It's like Furia.
Yeah. Weird.
Some weird name. And come to find out there was an alien stowaway. You got weirdly tension building around Ripley being pregnant. Like it's a mystery.
Yeah.
So that happens. And alien impregnates a dog and runs loose on the prison.
Depending on what version you watch.
We watched the theatrical release.
I watched the one on TV just a few minutes before I came over here. It was an ox.
We don't talk about that one.
Oh, God.
We call that one the special edition.
You know what the funny thing is? Is the alien comes out of the ox.
Keep talking.
But it's still the CGI part where it comes out of the dog. They just like literally pasted it over and called it a day.
Well, to be honest, that part is kind of rough to watch with the dog.
Yeah, it is.
Even when you first see the dog, because, alright, we'll just get into the plot. This is one of the things I see why they changed it to an ox. Because if you watch the theatrical release for the dog gets impregnated by the facehugger. They don't show the facehugger actually latching. But when the one convict comes back, he's like, oh man, who did this to you? And the dog, literally, you can see where the facehugger dug into its face. And there's just like claw marks, blood, and just like ripped skin everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not the prettiest thing ever. Especially being like a dog lover. It's like, oh.
It's painful to watch that part.
What's more painful is the scene when they're cremating the other crew members. And guys having this epic speech about how, oh, they're dying, but there's going to be a new life, yada, yada, yada. It's kind of a transition to what's also happening with the dog coming, or the alien coming out of the dog at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is, again, kind of hard to watch. A little bit. Is it bad when it's way more enjoyable to watch it come out of people?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I don't know. I think I enjoy my human chest bursters more than anything, which is odd. But anyways, for the plot for me though, not as big of a fan of this movie. Mainly because it has really bad pacing issues.
It's like 2 hours and 40 minutes or 2 hours and 20 minutes long.
The version I watched is about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Special edition's a little longer.
Yeah, I watched special edition. It was 2 hours and 24 minutes, I think.
Yeah, but I just recommend watch the theatrical release if you're going to watch this. It's a little bit more clean cut, to say the least. But the movie does take a long time to build up to really anything because they have to develop a little bit of a story of what's going on this new planet.
That's not true. Within few minutes, we already find out Ripley's a whore and she'll sleep with anybody in there.
Just to avoid the question.
Yes. That
she never really tells the guy until it's in his face. Literally. That's one of the worst parts of that movie too, is there's such a huge build-up around that guy, like, oh, there's a mystery. He was a convict, but he's not gonna say what he said. He's not a convict anymore.
Like, I thought, like, first time I watched it, I was like, he's one of the guys who's gonna go all the way to the end.
No, he just dies. There's not even a build-up to it. He just dies. Spoiler. Probably should have said that beforehand. But, it's not satisfying what happens to that guy.
No, sadly.
Like, I kind of appreciate it because it came out of nowhere, but then again, it came out of nowhere. It's really hard to really gravitate towards the guy when he just goes out like a bitch.
Yup.
Yeah, that's just pretty much most everybody else in this movie. It's really hard to care for anyone in this film, even with the build-up.
See, like, at first, when I watched this movie, I did not like that part. Like, the whole religion aspect of the movie, I don't like it. I'm not saying, like, I have anything against religions, like, in horrors and stuff like that, like, Dead Space.
Like, yeah, it works good.
Huh?
Yeah, that works good.
Yeah, like, that works good. This just did not work out. Like, it just, I wasn't into the whole aspect of it, you know?
I like it because it kind of adds a little bit more to the plot, but then again, it was just like, because they added the whole celibacy thing onto the top of the fact that they are the prisoners on a planet of all guys, and there's a girl there.
Yeah.
Either way, even without that whole religious aspect, you still would have had the same kind of tension.
Yeah.
So you didn't really need to throw it in.
So that's why
It helps, but it didn't feel necessary,
Yeah.
to be honest. And then, why did everybody have to die at the beginning of this movie? Newton Hicks. Bishop I understood for the story aspects, but Newton Hicks really could have maybe helped the movie actually a little bit and actually build up a little bit more. Even like if they maybe would have died sometime, but gave us something. Instead of just be like, hey, we couldn't afford him, so he got impaled.
Which I don't understand. The budget for this movie was $55 million. That's 10 times the last movie.
Well, that's because this one has CG in it. More CG than the previous ones, I do believe.
Should we talk about CG?
We'll get to that.
Oh.
But it just wasn't very satisfying for that aspect either, because it's like, Aliens is one of the best movies ever. I love the plot, I love the characters, and going into this movie, I'm already disappointed, because some of my favorite characters from that movie are just gone without even a win. And that's probably one of the reasons why this movie is just not one I usually come back to a whole lot. But for some of the positives, though, the later half of this movie is actually pretty action-packed. And I really like the way that's shot. Which is to say, a lot of this movie has really cool visuals going on with it.
Yeah.
Because in this movie, you get a lot of very iconic scenes, like you get Ripley in the med lab with the alien right next to her head.
Yeah.
And just kind of like hissing, but yet backs away. That's really cool. There's even, the junkyard has the cross in the background.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Even the aerial shots are nice. And especially with the monologue talking too, where they go like, guys talking, cuts back to the alien, guys talking, cuts back to action. I think that's done really well.
And another thing, this is our first time we get an actual alien that's wasn't born from a human.
Yeah, that's a positive in this one. And I like too that even though I love Aliens because it's an action movie, I like that the movies seem to change plot or change the type of movie it is from each one. Because I feel like this one's more of a horror movie.
Definitely.
Not the best executed in terms of horror, but it has more suspense or tension than what you got with Aliens, sort of like what you had with Alien. And then we have a different change for the next movie as well.
Yeah, at least like they tried, but they failed at it though.
Also, to bring back the previous cast members, they say that Newt drowned in it, and they're like, "Oh, she wasn't awake for it." Yeah, when they cut back to the her tank, she's like. I'm like, I hope that guy was being nice.
Well,
that's what I think that's what he was doing.
There was maggots all over, dude. She was just... Whoa.
Oh, that's another thing, too, is there's so many bugs in this movie. I think that's one thing I like about like that special effects, because whenever they have the practical stuff, they have bugs all over the place.
Yeah.
And it just kind of adds to the grody-ness that's already kind of happening with all the slime and the skin being left around and stuff. So for the plot, to me, not the best executed in this franchise. In the least. Not saying that it's bad. Still enjoyable.
It's still watchable.
But it's got a lot of hiccups here and there. For the suits, we have the dog alien, which I think is cool design. I'll give the dog alien that.
Yeah,
it's a really cool design.
It's different.
And the parts that are really cool in this movie with the dog alien are generally with somebody like controlling a suit.
Definitely.
Where you have, like, the close-up shots of the alien, or, say, like, the part where Ripley's trying to, like, grab at his tail and pull him out of there.
That's like one of my favorite things, when it's, like, backed up in a corner, and it knows it can't kill Ripley.
Yeah.
And it's just like, back away.
It's like, stop it!
And she's like, Ren, give me the damn thing.
Yeah, that part's awesome. There's also, like, when it's hiding up in the tubes. That's pretty cool. There's a lot of neat shots like that with the dog alien. Is any of the CG having to do with the dog alien, especially coming back to it nowadays on Blu-ray?
It's rough, man.
It takes you out of it. I remember watching this back in the day on VHS, and it wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
It still wasn't great compared to, like, Aliens, because almost that entirety, like, whenever you see Aliens,
yeah,
it's something there on screen. Well, on this, when you start seeing the cutaways and the CG, your eyes catch it, that's when you're like, oh, this officially became kind of fake to me.
I know it was made in 92, but still, I feel like they could have put in a little better effort into it, you know?
Yeah, because we just had Aliens.
Yeah.
But some of the special effects used for, like, the ships dropping in, but a lot of that's, like, models that they use, but they just kind of enhance them.
Yeah, it looks so much better.
Yeah, compared to this, where even, like, they have, like, the radar dish that's turning on, like, top of one of the roofs, and it looks different than all the other radar dishes.
Oh, you can
that are in the background. Probably the worst part of CG, we'll just talk about CG here too, is when they're, after they find the ship and they find Ripley, they're bringing it back and they're on like that crane with like the storm going on or whatever, and they're coming in. And you could definitely tell like the plate that's coming off has nothing to do with anything going on.
Yeah.
It's just kind of flying around just to fly around.
It made no sense. Like, it should have not been there.
Yeah, I think it would have been fine. Like, granted, they needed something to add to the shot there, but I think just needed to be worked a little better.
They could have put a flying witch on a broom. It would have made more sense.
Just have a little face hugger with a little hat on.
Yeah.
That would have been great. We also do get a face hugger in this.
For like...
Briefly. He does like this thing. He's like, the dog's like, no!
Oh, there's also the part in the ship, too, you know? Like the beginning credits.
Yeah. Like, there's some semblances, but it's like...
Yeah. You see like 2 fingers and a tail and shadows and...
I think it kind of would have been nice to maybe actually see it, I hate to say it, attack the dog? Or something? Because it kind of goes from the dog barking at, what's wrong, girl? Or boy? And then we have the Queen Chestburster. At the end of the movie when it ejects out of Ripley's chest.
It's like... The end.
Yeah. It just goes, Rah! She grabs onto it as they go into the molten pool of lava.
Depending on which version you watch. If you watch the special version, you don't see nothing. You just see CGI Ripley falling to the fire and that's it. There is no chest burster.
And the Queen Little Chestburster, it was okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of spoiled by the Kenner version, where it has actually like the crest, like the Queen.
Yeah.
This one, not so much. Especially when they're looking at it inside of her chest, it's really hard to be like, that's a queen. It's
How can you tell?
Yeah, because granted, it's like slightly different, but not enough to where I would say that it's...
Oh my god, this is special. We gotta save it.
Yeah, or we got to kill her. Like,
Depending on which point of view you look at it.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Oh, you know what another thing is about this movie that was messed up? When that retarded prisoner hits
Oh, yeah, Mr. Yutani.
Yeah, and his ears just peeled off, blood gushing everywhere. He's like, I'm not a robot! I was like, oh god, you okay?
Oh, yeah, that part's like, especially when he's like, no! You just see the ear just kind of like flopping off to the side. Oh, I will give them props. The gore in this movie is definitely a notch above the rest.
There was a lot of, like, when they catch everybody on fire. That scene was amazing.
Oh, yeah, it was like Michael Bay explosions.
Yeah, it was epic. Explosion in the back, people doing flips forward, one guy running, he's on fire. It's amazing. There's some good parts of this. It's not all bad.
Yeah.
I'm surprised how much money it made, though.
Yeah, it's an alien movie.
It was like 160 million. I was like, oh.
Granted, it's probably wasn't as needed of an alien movie.
Yeah, that's where... Even when they were talking about making a new alien movie, they said 3 and 4 just never existed. This is where we continue the storyline, you know?
Yeah, that's probably where we should just conclude this review, because I feel that's correct.
Yeah.
Granted, there is some merits to this movie, because I do like the new concept for the alien. The last half of this movie is actually fairly entertaining and fairly fast-paced, except for the ending definitely leaves a little bit to be desired.
Yeah.
By a little, I mean a lot.
Like, I get it. It was the third one. They were trying to kill it off right here, you know?
Yeah.
But, really? Like that?
Yeah, I think it could have been done a little bit better.
Yeah.
And, or even just, like, have a little bit more of a closing than just the prisoner that got shot in the leg making it out. Case closed.
Really? Like, just one?
Yeah, or even just like some semblances that there might be another movie coming out. Even like a little tease. Like maybe if there was like a face hugger that kind of got on the ship or something. Like when they were lifting off. Yeah. That'd be cool, but then again, where would the face hugger come from? Yeah, but then I got how the face hugger got on the ship to begin with. For this movie. They'll make it work. But the pacing for this movie is definitely a little bit off. It's a really hard watch at the beginning of this movie to get into it.
Yeah.
Because there's literally nothing going on that really merits any excitement.
Right, you got like hour and 24 minutes at least of just like...
Yeah, and even on the standards, it takes about an hour to really get things going. At least in my opinion. So it's a bit of a slog, even though it's a cool environment. But then again, it's kind of something we've already seen with the ships.
Yeah.
So there's not too much differentiation between this and what we pretty much saw in Alien.
Yeah.
Aliens was a lot of blues. This is more yellows and brown colors. And the CGI for this movie just doesn't really hold up as well as, say, some of the other films of this franchise.
God, no.
So if you guys are a big fan of the Alien franchise, I definitely say give it a watch. Because it does give you a lot of world building in this film, so it definitely helps to add to the mythology.
Yeah.
Which an Alien fan can appreciate. But if you weren't sold by the movies Alien and Aliens, Alien 3 ain't gonna bring you into it.
No. Like, I am a huge Alien fan, and by far, this is, to me, is the worst movie out of all four of them.
Yeah, it's definitely the one I come back to the least.
Yeah.
Like, I actually had to sit down and watch this one again to remember what to talk about for the review.
So did I, and that was the sad thing, because, like, Alien is definitely, like, my thing, and just, I can't get into it as much as I can in the other ones.
But what'd you guys think of Alien 3? Please let us know in the comment section below, and help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a ranger today, and see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.